Welcome to Stoner City. Today we have an exciting episode for you where we're going to talk a little bit about stoner stereotypes. We've got our usual hosts here, Maggie, Amanda, and Robin. And I'm sure some of you at home have heard a couple things about stoners, as we all have. We all have that one hater who's just, stoners are the worst, stoners are lazy, blah, blah, blah. And we're just going to get into that today. But before we get into it, I think we're all ready to take a hit. This is Stoner City. So let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh shit, I'm like the last one. What the hell?
Did you not pack your bowl?
No!
What did you think we were doing?
There we go though, okay. Cheers, bruh.
Cheers.
And bowl got stuck.
Wipe that smug look off your face.
Which one? Her or me?
Her.
Stop it. Because you guys are both coughing your asses off, and I'm just over here going, maybe I should have taken a second hit. Like,
Okay.
I could cough too.
Baby lungs?
Baby lungs. Yeah, exactly.
I have damaged lungs, not baby lungs, please.
Yeah, mine are probably damaged too. There we go.
Because I was the king of the dabs and the hits before I did that 10 dabs video, okay? I was on top.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you were. I couldn't have done that shit.
I'm going to try it eventually.
Okay.
That's a challenge. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, that I don't even know, because it was honestly so underwhelming that I don't think I did it right.
Okay, I'll have to give it a try.
So we have a couple things that we were talking about before the show. We were talking about stoners being lazy kind of thing was the first thing we touched on, because that's obviously the biggest stereotype when it comes to stoners is they don't fucking do shit. They lay around the house. They live in their mom's basement. All they do is smoke weed. So
Unproductive, absolutely.
They're creepy and crusty.
mm-hmm.
No, that's so not true.
No, so not true. Absolutely not true. My biggest experience with this was one that touches really close to home because my father has only ever experienced situations with, as he called them, burnouts, or people that were very lazy or just unmotivated, uninterested in bettering themselves, lazy. I don't know another way to say it, but until he met
Non-productive human beings.
exactly. Until he saw me and my family, my mom, my sister, and saw us working every day, being mothers, being productive, living our lives, and still smoking cannabis and using cannabis and it not affecting us in the way that he saw it affect others, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know productive stoners.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Yeah,
productive
yeah.
stoners.
Exactly. I'm a mother. I have a 12-year-old and a 2-year-old and an 18-year-old. My 18-year-old is doing her thing. But, I have everyday life that I have to deal with. I have things I have to do every single day. And I don't always do everything, but I do. My family is healthy and happy and clean and warm.
That's what matters. I mean, even when you're not a stoner, you don't do everything all the time. You have your days where you look at the laundry pile and go, you know what? I just don't feel like doing that today. I'm not feeling it. You know, so you don't have to be a stoner to work at 70% sometimes, or at 50%.
So another stereotype that I've noticed is people kind of think we're fucking dumb. People think that if you're smoking weed, it's because you're an idiot and you don't understand how life and you don't understand how drugs work, or you need something to make yourself feel good because you're dumb. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
When it comes to people thinking that stoners are dumb, I think it's complete bullshit, because people go to college, get 4.0 averages, go on to successful careers, and they're stoners. You know, when I was going to college, I'd wake up, you know, do my wake and bake, do my sativa throughout the day so that I can focus and, you know, concentrate on my schoolwork. And I had great grades. I had between a 3.5 and a 4.0 average in almost all of my classes. And I smoked all day, every day. I still took care of my stuff. I still did my laundry. I still, you know, and I managed to get good grades. So, yeah, no, we're not dumb. Stoners are not dumb.
No, but I've heard the term stuck on stupid, which is how some people refer to it, just being literally just not. Dang it, my brain just totally farted, you guys. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
That's okay,
We're
these are
high.
bloopers.
Literally just flew right out of my fucking head, and it's because I'm stoned.
Yeah.
But I'm not stuck on stupid. I can still get up and do what I need to do. I can still think and process all of the things that I need to process.
Yeah. You just
I'm-
have the ability now when you're smoking cannabis to pick and choose your battles. It's not that we're dumb. It's just that we can look at things in a different way and go, you know what? I don't need to get upset over that. And, you know, but it also helps, to me, it helps me concentrate. When I was studying, I was so focused. And I think if I didn't smoke cannabis, my brain would be everywhere because I have ADHD, but it's a adult attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder. So it's like, if it wasn't for the weed, I wouldn't be able to calm down, take a deep breath, and go, okay, let's focus on this and get it done. And then I was okay. I was able to, you know, study and do everything I needed to do. Dude, I am stoned.
I'm feeling that.
Like, I stop feeling it right now. I know I don't have weed in this. I wish. Dude, if I could make this with THC, it would be like a liquid blunt. Anybody out there in the cannabis industry, if you want to make liquid blunts,
I don't know how, because you know, people like take nicotine wraps and make blunts, but like, tobacco wraps, but like, I don't know about directly mixing them together like as a thing and selling them. I feel like that's like an unspoken line that like
the nicotine and the cannabis industry, the tobacco and the cannabis industry would never cross.
You do. I mean, they do. Like, people, like, they make blunts and sell them. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you mix your tobacco and your weed at home. But if people are selling it, I don't know. I'm not against it, personally.
I mean,
I just feel like someone would be.
Yeah.
I'm sure there would be someone out there that would be against it, of course, yeah.
There's always going to be somebody that is against and or for something. It's just human nature. You're going to have the pros and cons, and people are going to like the cons, and people are going to like the pros because they see it in different ways.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's like PBT, or Pabst beer. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
They're
PBR.
coming out with a PBR. Thank you. They're coming out with a THC line.
Yeah, I heard about that.
A hard seltzer or something. It's like the beer industry's getting in on it. I'm like, corporate America needs to stay the fuck out.
Well, that's exactly what'll happen if they start making liquid blunts.
Well, no, because I'm not talking about, you know, Philip Morris or those companies.
The next thing you know, Juul is gonna be like, well, why don't we start putting weed in our Juul pods?
I'd buy it though.
You're the problem.
But okay, okay. Let me rephrase that. I wouldn't buy the Juuls because they're too harsh. It's too much nicotine. I would buy it like a 3 milligram one with THC.
Mm-hmm. But like, if you're really buying a liquid blunt that's pre-mixed with your nicotine and your weed, are you gonna go for like a low nicotine? Who's like, I know you would, but like, honestly, are people who are going that hard gonna buy like low milligrams of nicotine? They're like, that's where they draw the line. They're like, oh, but I don't want to get too crazy.
Oh no! I mean, I do it because I just want to be on the same level of nicotine that I've been on for a long time now. But yeah, I can see where the younger crowd, your age, would want to go full on blasting with this. You know, the what are the e-liquid salts?
Yeah, the nicotine salts.
That would no.
Those things are pure addiction. Those things are amazing.
Like, stay away.
I smoked cigarettes for 14 years.
Cigarettes are gross. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Cigarettes are fucking disgusting. I just want to clarify, Amanda. I'm not saying you're disgusting for having smoked. I'm saying cigarettes are disgusting. I just didn't want that to come across.
No, cigarettes are disgusting. I don't like nicotine at all. This is a hemp wrap.
Yeah.
So I don't do blunts anymore either. I have found I like my life better without nicotine. So, I mean, I just don't use it anymore at all.
Yeah, my clothes don't smell anymore.
Not
30 years.
Exactly, yeah. After 15 years of smoking, I had quit, and there were clothes that I had worn when I was smoking that were in a plastic bag, and I didn't realize it. I went to open up the bag, and I nearly vomited from the smell of my own clothing, and I had to wash everything in that bag before I could even put it on my body.
Ew.
Oh yeah. Imagine what your car smells like when you've been a two-pack-a-day smoker for 30 years.
Yeah, I went through a phase last year where I smoked for like a week, and it was. Let me tell you, it was like the worst week of my life. I hated it.
That's a blip.
It was a phase because I went through a phase in high school where I would smoke like with my friends. It was just like, I don't know. I just smoked for a week because I didn't have any weed. So I was like, well, I need something. So I went to the store. I had just turned 21 like the month before, and I bought a pack of cigarettes, and I was like, all right. So I sat outside in my grandpa's backyard, sitting on the bumper of my trailer, and I light one up, and I'm like, okay. And I was like, all right, this feels pretty good. And I was like, okay. And then I put it out, and I was like, my fingers kind of smell bad. And I was like, my trailer kind of smells bad. And I was like, and I can't get this taste out of my mouth. And it was a week of like that, of me, and every time, it got to the point where I almost just like wanted to die. I was like, I don't want to smoke at all, but I was like, but I don't feel good, and I don't have any weed. So I would pull out a cigarette, and I'd be like, maybe it'll be better this time, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, no.
I always thought for some reason that it would like get better like the next time. I was like, maybe it wasn't that bad as I remember it, and then it was. It was.
Damn.
I'm kind of glad that it was. That way you didn't smoke for long. With me, I started smoking cigarettes because I quit smoking weed, too.
Mm-hmm.
I had quit smoking weed, and then I started smoking cigarettes.
Why?
I was quitting for a job. Like, I was looking for a new job in the industry that I was in. They did drug tests, so I quit for 8 months. And I had started smoking cigarettes in that time. And then when I started smoking cannabis again, I couldn't quit cigarettes. And I was stuck on cigarettes for another 14 years. And it was just not good. I'm glad that I'm away from them now. I feel much healthier. I like them. I like the way I feel much better now. But that's just me. I know that I was more segregated from my family when I smoked cigarettes. I spent a lot more time away from my younger children, or my older child, than I do my younger child, because I was smoking cigarettes, and I would go outside to smoke cigarettes. I'd be away from her because I didn't want the secondhand smoke around her.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I spent more time away from her, which I feel was a really negative thing about smoking cigarettes when I was younger, and I wish I hadn't done.
Yeah, no, I was telling Amanda too, I feel like I got lucky in the sense that I feel like shit all the time, so I never got addicted to anything, because my body just doesn't understand withdrawal symptoms. That's my theory, because I started smoking for a week, I started smoking for a couple months in high school, and then I stopped, and I wake up the next day and I think, man, I feel super shitty. And then I think, oh, what the fuck else is new? And I go on about my day. And I don't even think about the drugs I was using before. It doesn't even cross my mind. I'm just thinking I feel like shit because I have a shit body. And then I get over it. And I'm like, cool, how I'm feeling better now.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm not going through withdrawals. This is just Tuesday.
Yeah.
In your mind, you never correlated the any kind of withdrawal symptoms with what they actually were. To you, it was just like, well, it's just my EDS or whatever it is making me feel this way.
Yeah, and
So
I
let me
didn't
just
know
take
that
something.
I didn't know that I was sick, like, back when I would smoke. I just knew that I was just used to feeling bad. I
Yeah.
was used to feeling shitty all the time, so it just didn't surprise me.
I know we're supposed to be talking about stereotypes and all that other shit, but I can't wait to get my nails done. See,
Maggie.
I finally got enough nail growth. Thank you, your chemo for the radiation or the and all that shit to be done and over with. So I can now have nails and
I mean, that's
shit.
kind of a stereotype, right? That we're a bunch of slobs. We don't care about
Very true that we
that
don't
Oh,
shit.
take
see,
care of our
yes, that
appearance
is very
and that we
true.
don't take care of
Mm-mm.
ourselves. Obviously, I mean, and then okay, the least slobby people I know, like you, or at least like slovenly looking, they, I was gonna say just Tiff. I love the makeup that girl does. I love the time she takes to care for herself, her skin, and she's just so. She just, I love that she shows us all of that too. You know what I mean? I love,
Yeah.
I love that she's helping break down the stereotype too. And I love
Yeah,
both of them, her and Core Frequency, for showing how hard they've been working doing the family workouts that they do, like our, Zoom chat workouts. They do that with their family as well. They've been taking care of themselves way better.
oh
So,
heck yeah,
It's also great to see black representation in the stoner community because,
absolutely.
as we were talking about with Ash, obviously there are certain people who. Black people? No, no, no. And weed? Absolutely not. So black
yeah,
stoners are like, no way, you know?
oh yeah. I love watching Ash and Lexi, right? Is
Yeah.
that her name, Lexi? Right? And and all these other
Well, I
people
was
that
going to
I've been
say that,
watching and following, and it's I feel like they're more of a true representation of us than some other people because they're more real and they're more just authentic. It's not so much of, oh, look at me, I'm on social media. No, I'm black, I'm a stoner, and this is life.
Well, being
And
a
it's
black stoner
beautiful.
myself, it's nice to see other black stoners in the community, and it's nice not to be the only
Yeah.
one. You know, it's nice to see people who look like you doing the things that you do so you don't feel like I'm black and I'm a stoner. Is that weird?
Yeah, it's not.
Or am I like, are people gonna think something of me because I'm black and I'm a stoner kind of thing?
Exactly.
yeah, I have never experienced the black stoner stereotype, obviously, but I have had friends that have, and I feel for them. It's upsetting to see it, and I love knowing that you and like just Tiff and Core and I like Betty Crocker Bakes. She creates a lot of very funny content, but she still works night jobs and has her kids, and she does
Yep.
what she does to make us all laugh and smile, and I love her. I like seeing like Tyler Therapy and Low Key and a lot of my other girls out there being
Yeah.
their authentic and wonderful selves and showing that to us, and I appreciate Hailey Ann. She's one of my favorites too. She's a mama and a stoner and a creator, and she's great too. She's funny and makes beautiful clothes.
Is it Ardent, a black female owned company as well?
Yes, Ardent is a black female owned company,
Yeah.
which is a beautiful thing as well.
Yeah. So stoners aren't dumb. Stoners aren't lazy. Stoners are not. They are productive. I mean, you can't get to where the lady that owns Ardent to her position, if she wasn't, productive. I
Very
mean,
true.
being a stoner. I mean, if you're lazy, how are you going to get your own company that is taking? I mean, off. I mean, that company's taking off, and it's something that she needs to take pride in and that we should all take pride in because it's just one step further in showing people that just because you're a stoner doesn't mean that you're a lazy slack, but you're a burnout. You can be productive and own company. The weed tube, Aaron Richards created the weed tube because it was a necessity for people in the cannabis community because YouTube kept deleting channels and you know and all that stuff. And, it's a major company right now, and it's doing really well. And these are stoners, so you can't tell me that stoners can't be productive. Because look at everything that's going on. When you guys think of stoners, what age group do you normally think of stoners?
That's a good
Stoners are, to me, stoners would be like in their 20s, maybe early 30s. That's the typical or stereotypical stoner that I was raised in my mind of what they are. And people forget that there's people my age and older. I'm 53, and the us older generation, we smoked weed back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and at our age, there's a lot of people my age and older, senior citizens that smoke weed because that's what. And there's not, and they're not the typical stereotypical stoner.
I assume
Yeah,
it started in the beginning because it was young people in the 70s who were smoking. And so that's how the stereotype got started. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Because when I picture a stoner, I either think of like a person around my age. I also think of like someone like Tommy Chong. I think of like generational stoners.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cheech and Chong are definitely generational stoners. They've been doing it for a while. But then you look at someone who's my age, and in my family, we do have generational stoners. My mom is 70 and she smokes.
Yep.
I'm 40. I smoke. We have younger generations that smoke as well. And so the age, yes, I understand what you mean about how the 20-something is what the typical age range you see in your head when you think of a stoner. But yeah,
Right.
definitely myself personally having, going into dispensaries and seeing people of all ages and all lifestyles and all, like career paths, see guys in scrubs
Yep.
in the dispensaries, you see,
People in 3-piece suits.
and 3-piece suits, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you see the people, you see, like I said, generational stoners, older people that are waiting to get their meds or whatever. I love the diversity that you see when you sit in a room. That was my favorite part of sitting in a dispensary lobby, was seeing, because I'm a people watcher, so I love seeing the diversity of the people in the room with me. So it's like,
Yeah.
really
When the dispensary that I go to was open, they have a lounge with a bar and like couches and seating. It's wonderful, and you can sit there and you can smoke and talk to people and whatever. And at one point, I was able to sit down with this little old lady. She was like 83, and she's sitting there doing a dab, at the bar, and we're just talking, and it was wonderful talking to somebody and getting their perspective on cannabis from that age.
exactly,
And
yeah.
and then and next to her was her great granddaughter who was 21,
That's
and they're
awesome.
sitting. So it's like all three of us were just sitting there talking and smoking, and it was just a wonderful experience. And this is a woman who had been smoking weed since she was like a teenager. So back when it wasn't even popular to smoke weed, and she grew up with it. She'd been an activist for cannabis, and I'm like, that's a beautiful thing.
That's
And
awesome.
she's freaking 83 years old, still smoking, still being, she raised children, she had her own business, she retired, and I'm
Mhm.
like, and she was a stoner all her life. And she lived this productive, beautiful life. And I'm like, anybody can do this.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it's about time to start wrapping things up. This has been good. I think we covered some interesting topics in today's episode, and I think we're all pretty high, but it's probably time for another hit, so.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Cheers.
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 Mm.
Alright, guys. Let us know what kind of stoner stereotypes you've experienced down in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. Let us know what you thought of this episode, what you want to see next, who you want to see next. Amanda, where can we find you?
You can find me at Instagram at Smokey_Mama Bear 420 and Twitter at AJ Things For You.
Maggie?
I am at Shifu Hippie on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram.
And you can find me at RobinXGlenn on Instagram and Twitter, and the WeedTube, and Robin Glenn on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay high. Bye.
Bye.
Take a picture of it.
You did send it to the
No, the chocolate, I mean.
Why?
the chocolate because she wants to see it.
It looks like a chocolate.
Expect from me, people.
Like, get a box of C's and see for yourself.
Okay, smarty pants.
What
That was funny.